I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor because we only see the top floor and the top floor only talks about the top. How valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is the documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast. Okay, this episode's going to be more or less just an observation. But this weekend, I took a lot of time off of working on really anything. The only things that I continued on were my personal things that I am trying to just, I got a really good streak on, and they're kind of like my power list. It's the things that force me to practice discipline every single day. And that's getting in the protein, 225 grams every day. I'm on a streak now of 105 days in a row. Tracking every single thing that I eat, 105 days in a row. Drinking 1 gallon of plain water every day. That's 105 days as well. And then taking an ice bath, 39 degrees or lower, 5 minutes, 171 days in a row. And then recording the show. So aside from those things, I took a break from anything to do with my laptop, aside from the podcast, obviously, anything to do with the supplement, except for a couple emails, and really anything to do with watching or learning or reading or anything. I'm going to go into details in the future as to why that is, but for now, I just took some time away from that. I took some time away from a little bit of time, I should say, away from podcasts. No, hold on. I took all the time away. I haven't listened to a single podcast in the last 4 or 5 days. I listened to very minimal music, and if I did, it wasn't my preferred kind of music. And yeah, and I'm going to go into details why in the future. But right now, just an observation that by doing this, the excitement and the rejuvenation that I feel and the desire to get back at it is so much higher than doing this day to day with no breaks, with no coming up for air kind of thing. And I don't know. It's, I've always been, I'm not going to say always. Lately, I've been all gas, no brakes, and I haven't been feeling any kind of burnout necessarily. I mean, the only things that I get burnt out on are when I know I'm not doing my best and when I'm being lazy. That's when I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? And I get way stressed out. And then that makes you feel like, okay, I'm done. I'm giving up. Of course, I never will ever give up. But, like for example, if I'm trying to go to bed early so I can wake up for work the next day and then I don't, and I'm, it's like for like the cleaning shifts for FedEx every other Sunday, I can go in whenever I want. There's no set schedule. I'm not late, I'm not early, it's just whenever I want to. So if I say I'm going to wake up early and go 5 a.m., wake up at 5 a.m., get down there by 6, clean trucks, be all done with that by noon, then come home. But I sleep in and then I don't go till later or whatever, and that fucks me up for the last half of the day, and then I can't meal prep or something falls behind, and that carries on to the next day. That gets me so stressed. So that's kind of the closest thing, that's the closest thing that I feel to burnout. There's so many things I want to accomplish in life, and this weekend was a great reminder as to why I'm working my ass off to do so much. I had a really great day today. Today's Mother's Day, so shout out to all the beautiful, amazing, hardworking mothers out there who sacrifice and work their asses off for their children and everything they do for their house and their loved ones. So shout out to them, and especially a shout out to my own mom. I love you so much. I'm not sure if you listen to these, but you really are the world's greatest mother, so I love you so much. But anyway, just an observation I wanted to share, that just taking a little bit of time away from really everything can just completely reset you. Music sounds better now because I really didn't listen to much. I was on a long drive home today, and I was listening to some of my favorite music, and it was just hitting. It was so good. It was very exciting. Certain podcasts I still haven't listened to, but it's like I'm so excited. And I'm sitting here looking at my calendar and looking at this ClickUp app that I talked about a couple episodes ago. I think that was episode 200. I think it was 200. 202, I think, talked about this ClickUp software that I'm using. It's an app, it's free. There's a lot of different things you can do in it. And rather than, I even put a note, I erased it, but I put a note to myself to figure it out. And then I was like, okay, let's just make it super simple. Let's just write down what I need to do to get to the very next little tiny miniature step that I'm trying to get to, and reverse engineer. So, I mean, this is just an example, but if I need to sell 1,000 products and my goal is to do that in the next year, that means I got to sell a little bit less than 3 products per day to hit that. So how can I sell 3 products per day? Well, I can message 100 people per day and do my best to show them, introduce them to the product. And maybe of those 100, maybe 20 people check it out, 10 people are interested, they just don't want to buy it now. And then maybe 5 are really very interested and they're going to buy it soon. And then maybe 3, just 3 will buy. And if I do that every day, or if I do that, what did I say? That was my goal in the next year. What did I say? I can't remember what I said. If my goal is to do that in 100 days, we'll say, then I need to message 100. Okay, what the fuck did I just say? If my goal is to sell 100 products and there's 300 okay, I don't know what I'm even saying. We're going to go ahead and back up. Okay. I'm just trying to reverse engineer my goals. So if my goal is to get my bench to 315, it's like, okay, well, what would my bench look like at 315? What would my workout look like? I would structure that and go back, okay, well, if I gained 5 pounds on my bench, then what would it look like before then? So it'd probably be 310. I could work that. And then maybe add some weeks, add some predictions. It's really hard to this is a horrible example. Holy shit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and back up all that. Pretend I didn't say it. I can't edit this out. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't. This is real. This is raw. This is me just fucking up, and dropping the mic. Great. It's great. Okay. So now that this podcast has gone to shit very quickly, sometimes maybe you do need to take a step back, catch your breath, look around, look at the view, and then dive back in, because I think that is ultimately what I needed, and has been great. And I'm very thankful for this last weekend and my realization in this, and I'm thankful to everybody who played a part in that. So I'll go into details in the future of what happened. Everything's great, no complaints. It's a great weekend. So laundry's done. I'm going to go grab that, and I'm going to go to sleep. So it's May 12th, 10:02 p.m. This is episode 206. And thank you so much for listening to the BED project. You can follow me on Instagram, BRQUSE. And I don't really do much on social media. I got to get back into that. But if you want to follow me and see my face, because I share no social media. So if you're listening to this, there's really no way to know how to contact me. So anyway, BRQUSE on Instagram. You can follow me there, and I'll chat with you guys later. Peace the fuck out. Hey, thanks for listening, and quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds, and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.